everyone, I hope you're all having a lovely day. So before you attempt to continue on with this tutorial, I got a little disclaimer to tell you. This tutorial is going to be very long. I will say that. I try my very best to keep it as short as possible, but due to the complex nature of kit bashing and combining booth outfits to Vroid models or just overall different models and such, it is pretty, especially for me to explain. Yeah, I do apologize that the tutorials could not be any shorter. I mean, there's probably a way to explain them even shorter, but again, there are going to be some missing information that will probably be very crucial. So keep that in mind, these tutorials are going to be pretty long. And also, I did try my very best to explain as thorough as possible, but do keep in mind there are probably going to be some missing information that you may require external researching, so please keep that in mind. You're going to have to do some extra checking on different tutorials to ensure that you understand the whole process basically and just 3D in general. And last but not least, I hope you guys have fun. And again, always make sure to credit your artists, whoever made your booth outfits and such. Check in the description. There are the assets that you'll be needing. And yeah, on to the tutorial! Hey, hi everybody! I hope you're all having a good day. I hope you're all smiling and enjoying your lovely day. So in this following tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you on how to put booth shirts onto your Vroid model, or basically any model, but we're going to be using a Vroid model so that way it's easier for you to understand the process basically. But again, it's pretty much the same process as putting a dress or pants or even shoes on your Vroid model, but either way, I'm going to show you how to do it for a shirt. So the things that we're going to be needing, which I will say as a heads up, right here that's edited right here, there is a time skip. If you already know what you require and you just want to get started on seeing the process, skip to here. But as for requirements, we're going to be using Unity. The Unity version doesn't really matter, but if you're VTubing, use Unity 2019.4.31 because if you plan on using the VSF avatar format, then you're going to have to stay with 2019. Keep in mind there may be changes in the future that may change the version. It may be to Unity 2020 in the future or 2021. Just keep an eye out and double check. I'll be sure to update if anything, but otherwise though, I'm using 2019 for this tutorial, but you may use a different version if necessary. But the reason why we're using Unity is just so we can extract our outfit parts from a Unity package file. So if your friend, let's say a client or a friend, they want you to combine a booth outfit for their model and such, but they only give you the Unity package. Well, I'm going to show you how to extract it. We're also going to be needing Blender. I'm using 3.5.1, but you can use 3.6 or 4.0. You can even use 2.8 if you want, but do not use 2.79. That is way too old, and there's a lot of outdated stuff there, and I'm going to be using slightly different controls from that old version of Blender, so keep that in mind. Please update and please learn the new version of Blender. We're also going to be needing the VRM Blender add-on if you want to put your Vroid model into Blender. Again, that's pretty easy. All the resources are in the description. And then the Cat's Blender add-on so we can utilize some settings to help make the process a little bit more easier on us. You know, depending on what you want to do for edits. But without further ado, that's pretty much mainly requirement stuff. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Unity package that a friend of mine, DJ, has given me, and I'm going to put it into Unity. Now, of course, I will say heads up, if by any chance there is no FBX file, because what we're looking for right now is we're looking for the FBX file of the outfit, which we have the files here. So we're going to look into the folder and find a folder that says FBX, or look for a file that looks like this, where it has an arrow, and if you click on it, there should be settings like these. This will indicate that this is an FBX file. If you do not see this by any chance, it probably means it's a prefab. If the only file you have is a prefab, you're probably going to need to use Unity's package manager and the FBX exporter that they have, which I'm not going to show how to do that because I don't want to. For the most part, you should have the FBX file, but if for some reason you have that rare case of it's only a prefab, it can get a little bit more trickier to set up. It's like a whole other thing basically. You can also export it to UniVRM as well. Try that, but it's like It depends. But all I can say, for the most part, you should have the FBX file and it should look like this. Otherwise, you could also contact the modeler from Boost and ask for help. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna right click, which I will have video edited, show in Explorer. We're gonna right click show in Explorer, and then we're gonna go into the file explorer that should pop up right where there's a red circle and the image showing to you guys. Copy, like select it, Control C, and then what we're going to do is we're gonna go into Blender. So right here, Blender. Hi, Test Chan. And then just saying right now, in case you're wondering how did the Vroid model get in here, just do File, Import VRM. Make sure that you have the add-on installed, and then it can actually, you know, show up. If it doesn't show up, you might have to do some other crazy stuff. Again, please consult different tutorials regarding how to install plugins. But otherwise, File, Import VRM for your Vroid model, but then for the outfit, File, Import FBX, and then video edited here will show you the where you can paste the file link to from your Unity pack, from your Unity project, and there you go. You can see that I have a shirt. Of course, it's a long sleeve shirt, but honestly, this is good for demonstration purposes. So I will only be taking this shirt real quickly and deleting this one. So yeah, and also just saying as well, there is a little, you see the little blue mouse thing in the almost center of the screen? This is basically, in case you get lost on where I am selecting, please refer to that little box thing, it'll help you out. So what we're gonna do, once you have this imported, you are free to, like, I'll show you real quickly, you can set up a color for we can set up the material real quickly for the shirt. So we're gonna go into the material panel right here, which I'm gonna go ahead and lower myself a little bit. So basically up here where there's like the little red circle, so what we're gonna do is we could change the settings here. So if it's pink, if you're wondering why your outfit's pink, it means that the texture is missing. Texture referring to a PNG image. So images you can find on Google, for instance, that's an example. Again, I will say it can get a lot more complicated regarding getting images on your outfit and such. I will not be going over that because that's like a whole different explanation regarding UV mapping, image, and then fitting it. It's like it's a whole other thing, and that will require external researching and such. I do have a tutorial on UV mapping and texturing, but just keep in mind, you're gonna have to do some researching and experimenting, basically. But you can add an image texture here. You can simply, if there is no like slot here, so let's say we remove this. If you have only just the base color here, you can click on the yellow button here and then click on image texture, and that will allow you to add the texture. Like you can make a new one or open, like you could draw your texture in here or something. That's if you want. Otherwise, if you want to keep it simple and basic, like you don't want to overcomplicate it, then just change the diffuse color. Like you can make it like a blue sweater. Simple as that. Also, please double check in case you're wondering why your outfit may look foggy. It's probably because you have blend mode here set to alpha blend. Probably because it's supposed to be a semi-transparent outfit to begin with. So set the blend mode to opaque and you'll be good. Again, there's more that I can explain with these settings, but again, it's like, I don't want to overcomplicate this tutorial than it should be. And then I'll also set the specular to 0 so it's like not super shiny. So there you go, we got a nice sweater, but now we have to get fitted on Test Chan here. So how do we do that? So of course, remember hierarchy on the top area here, by the way. I'm gonna raise myself up here. So on the top part here of the, right here, this is basically your hierarchy. Please remember that you're gonna have to do some toggling stuff just so you can keep yourself organized. Just want to say that. So basically, I'm going to go ahead, select the model. I'm going to press the tab key to enter edit mode, or you could just click on the top left and just go edit mode there, which, I mean, a lot of beginners tend to do that. I just do tabs since it's faster. I'm going to select the top and then the accessory tie here, because these are the ones that are shirt related for Vroid models. It can be different for your model. You may have like a single material for your model because of Atlas, so you may have to actually like manually go into the actual, depending on the model, you may have to actually go into the model itself, press the L key, and see if you can like delete the other parts of the model, basically. But otherwise, we're just going to select the materials here with this button, press the X button, and then vertices. That way we don't, we can be able to start putting on the shirt. So what I do first is I start off by scaling the armature of the sweater. So I take this armature and I scale it upward, basically. That is the first step. And align it to work, align it so that way it can be best fitted for the shirt, for the torso of Test Chan or your model. It's not going to be perfect, but you want to get at least an approximate fit. So select the armature, go to object, go to apply, then all transforms. Then the next thing you're going to do, what you can do, is you can go into pose mode, right? The next thing, pose mode, top left, pose mode, select the armature, of course. Press the Z button, go to wireframe mode, and then you can take your time, press the X button up here on the top right above, which is small, it's very tiny, but it's for mirroring. That way, when we move the arms, it can mirror to one side. And also, in case you're wondering, like I said, please understand you have to learn some Blender basics to understand some basic controls here. Just want to make sure that's elaborated. But basically, you'll have to probably, start off with, like, posing the bones. That way, it's like a better fit. It may not work all the time, but it can work, basically. So yeah, you can also even scale bones too as well. Like, you can make this to be a giant jacket. So yeah, funny. But let's say, like, I did the whole, like, arm rotation thing, and I want this to be permanent, right? So now what do I do? So I can select the entire bones, or specific bones in pose mode, go to the cat's blender add-on here. Make sure that the correct armature is selected. So you have to see apply as rest pose if you're in pose mode, so you can actually apply it to the actual correct armature. Click on apply as rest pose so it becomes permanent, and that's good. Now the next step, of course, is to basically edit the outfit, because again, even if you have pose, if you do your pose mode, or if you just keep on changing the armature's shape, it may not be a perfect fit still. So what do we do? So you can select the jacket, and we can do one of two things: proportional edit or sculpting. So what we're going to do is, we'll start with proportional edit just to show you. Click on the jacket or the shirt, and then I keep calling this a jacket, why? But we're gonna go into edit mode by pressing the tab key, press Z, go to wireframe, and then try to, like, select, or you don't even have to go to wireframe actually, you can just go on solid view, select some vertices, press the O button to enable proportional edit, which looks like this. You can set it to connected only, so it selects only connected vertices. Like, if the vertices are connected, it'll follow. Otherwise, if you want it to follow everything, then do that, basically. And pretty much, you can just basically click and drag. You can use your middle finger to move the scroll wheel, so that way it can change the placement of the vertices. But basically what you're doing, you can use proportional edit, so that way you can fit the vertices onto your model. You can enable mirror mode as well, but do keep in mind that not all outfits are mirrored like this one. This one is very asymmetrical. So because of this, it will be a lot more harder to actually do mirroring with proportional edit. You can use a mirror modifier, like delete one side of the jacket and then mirror and such, but again, there may be some outfits that you may prefer to be asymmetrical, because this one's supposed to be like a realistic shirt, basically. So, yeah. But either way, let's say the proportional edit is not really what you want. You want something a little bit more easier, or something a little bit more faster, maybe. That's where sculpting comes in. So we'll select the outfit, and then we'll go into sculpt mode, and we'll use the draw brush, and we can actually enable mirror mode up here, and then we can actually just click and just make it so that way it is fitted onto our model, basically. So pretty much, this is a lot more faster. Do keep in mind to be a little bit careful. Do be a bit careful when it comes to, like, sculpting, because sometimes you may make it too big or anything like that. But as you can see, pretty much, it's a lot more faster, basically. So I usually always recommend sculpting for the most part, because, again, it is much faster. At least if you're doing the whole kit bashing stuff. But let's say also, let's say for example, I made this part way too big. You got some big shoulders going on. So how do you fix this? Well, you could do Control Z, but let's say you did so much work with everything else, but then you realize, but then you out of nowhere realize the big shoulders or big something. So how do you fix it? So basically, you can click on the smooth brush here. You can increase the strength or decrease it. I usually set it to 0.5. 0.7 tends to be a little too much for me because that's the default setting. And you can use a smooth brush and just click and drag so it kind of calms down the area basically. So it's not as big. Another fun fact too, if you're using the draw brush, depending on how you set up your smooth brush, depending strength wise, like I said, I usually set to 0.5. Let's say if I were to like make this too big, but I want to do like more edits faster, you can hold the shift key and basically have it so you can toggle from draw brush to the smooth brush basically, and that way it's a lot more faster and convenient. Again, do as you wish, but that's what I personally do to make things faster for me basically. So yeah. But pretty much though, you can mess around with all these other brushes. Each brush has their own sort of effect. Like some of them allows it to go inward and all that. So do as you wish with the sculpt brushes, but either way, it should allow a much more easier fit. And as you can see, the shirt looks fitted onto our model, but we're not done yet. We have, drumroll please, armature retargeting. Yeah, we can never forget that, because if I were to go into pose mode for Test Chan right now, oops, if I go to Test Chan right now, and I were to click on pose mode and I move this arm around, as you can see, it's not following. And even if you join the shirt to the model, it ain't gonna follow. This is where armature retarget, I call it armature retargeting, but you can call it whatever else you want. I don't care what you call it. It's the same thing. So we need to get this shirt to be properly read to the Vroid armature. So how do we do that? Well, I'm gonna tell you what you won't do. You're not gonna be using custom model creation on cats, and you're going to merge armatures, because this will not work. I believe this only follows based off of same bone names, but even then, I would not use this. No. I have a different method. You might prefer or you may hate it. Again, up to you. I'm just sharing what I personally do. So, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the jacket armature, right? Well, I first make sure that I select everything, go to object, go to apply, and apply all my transformations. But what I will do is I'll select the armature of the jacket or the shirt or whatever the heck. I'm gonna keep calling it jacket even though it's not a jacket, it's a sweater. And then I'm going to move it forward basically. So that way I can see both the armatures of the Vroid model and the Boost outfit here. So the first thing I typically do, delete any bones that are extras. Any bones that look whatever the frick this is, delete them, because they are distractors. They are distracting you. So I usually use the Cat's Blender's Merge to Parents button, which is right here. I use that so that way it's a lot more easier for me to, like, you know, sometimes, like, let's say for the neck, right? Because if the Vroid model's neck is moving, sometimes having this here weight painted would probably look a bit weird. So I would have to, like, merge this. So I would merge the parents for this one. That way it's on the actual chest bone, basically. Or the, yeah. And then for the chest bones here, I will also do the same thing just in case. I'll also check this. Yep, so there is no, I could merge the parents. And then we only have just one chest bone, which I will also say as well, do keep in mind you may have to also do some modifications to your Vroid model also to compensate for the Boost outfit. Unless you by any chance are very experienced with Blender, that you can add a third spine bone or more chest bones to your Boost outfit. But otherwise, if you want to keep it simple, just make the Vroid model compensate for the rigging of, you know, this outfit basically. And pretty much, we're just gonna go ahead and delete this. We don't need the legs. So we're just trying to make this easier on ourselves, so that way we don't have to rename so many bones. Now, of course, like I said, if your outfit's super complicated, then yeah, you'll probably have to do that a lot. But for the most part, you should be fine. So, yeah. Either way, now we have like the armature edited so it's a lot more cleaner and it makes sense. But now what we have to do is we have to go to each bone that is, you know, a match to the Vroid model. Like let's say the hip bone's here, and we have to copy and paste the names in the bone tab here, right? You see that? You see the bone tab right there, right next to me, right there. You copy the name, and then you have to paste it over to the boost armature here, basically. You're gonna have to paste it, and then you're gonna have to repeat this for every bone that is humanoid. If it's physics bones, that is a different story. For those, you're probably gonna have to duplicate the main armature, and then you're, you know, not only duplicate the armature, but then you'll have to do a lot of like reattaching stuff. Basically, I should have a showcase video posted, so in case you're curious how I exactly do that, then I have a showcase there that shows you exactly how to do, like, what happens if there's, like, extra physics, basically, and such. But overall, though, pretty much, as you can see, we got the spine done. Now we just gotta get the shoulders going. So we'll do that, rename these shoulders so they are correct. We got upper arm here. There you go. Upper arm. And then lower arm. There you go. Lower arm. And then last but not least, wrist bones. Alright. There you go. And now that we have that, we can get out, we can be on object mode and then select the shirt or whatever the heck. Shift select the Vroid's armature, Control P, empty groups, and there you go. It is now retargeted to the Vroid model and it should be able to move properly, which is good. This is what we want. So yeah, there you go. See, now it follows your model, and there you go. But what happens if, let's say, you want to have it where the underbody, like let's say you're moving around with your model, but you see so much clipping issues. What do you do about that issue? How do you fix it? So, I would say there's like 2-3-ish solutions. So I'll say the worst solution. The worst solution would be you have to actually go to the actual object, go to weight paint mode, and manually weight paint yourself. But that's more like if you're an advanced user. If you're a beginner, you're gonna hate this. So what's an easier way for a beginner to be able to reduce the clipping issue? Well, method number one for beginners is to delete whatever's underneath the body. Remember, your 3D models are not real people. I'm saying this right now. There, I said it. Your 3D models cannot feel. They don't have a nervous system. They do not have feelings, okay? So you're gonna have to do some sacrificing and delete whatever's underneath, basically. So let's say I'm gonna go ahead, select the skirt here. I'm gonna press the H button to hide, Control 3 to be on this side, and I'm gonna delete some vertices here, basically. Again, it's recommended to have like a version of your model that is the base model, which is basically the naked body, if you're gonna do a lot of outfit stuff. But basically, you can go ahead and select parts of your model, and then you could just delete by faces or vertices, and then boom. That's like the easiest way to fix clipping issues, because you can do whatever you want. You can bend however you want, like this, and you will not have clipping issues with your inner body. But what if you're somebody who don't want to do this? You want to keep whatever's inside your body because A, you still think that the 3D model is actually real, or B, maybe you want to have like an outfit toggle for different outfits, and other reasons I'm not going to address. But basically, let's say you want to have it for like other toggle reasons. What you gonna do? What you gonna do if you want to still keep the inner body there but still reduce as much clipping. This is where weight paint transfer comes in. It's not, again, it depends on the model, depends on the outfit, it doesn't always work, but you can give it a try. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have to find the material for the body, or basically I need to split the base body from anything else, basically. Because if I have it where I weight paint transfer the entire Vroid body with the skirt and everything, it will screw up the movement. So we need just the body. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the jacket and we're going to delete the vertex groups. I always have to remember, delete the vertex groups before you weight paint transfer. Otherwise, things will get fricked up and you don't want that. So yeah, delete. I'm going to go ahead and lower myself a little bit in case, you know. So you're going to click on this button here and you're going to delete all unlock group, which I think I'm still in the way for that. Let me just move myself. Goodness gracious, my head is giant. So you're gonna click on this button and click on delete all unlock groups, and that way we remove all the weight paint data. I mean, then again, vertex groups can be used for other reasons, but I won't get into that. But basically, no more weight paint on this. Now we're gonna do a weight paint transfer. So select the shirt. Shift select your armature, Control P, empty groups. Then you're going to select the Vroid's or your model's base body, shift select the shirt, and then you're going to go into weight paint mode on the top left. Then you're going to click on this vertice selection button here and select all the vertices. Then you're going to go into weights, then transfer weights. Then vertex mapping is set to nearest face interpolated, then ray radius set to 5, and then source layer selection set by name. And then once you do that, then if you move your model, this is also good if by any chance your outfit doesn't come in weight painted and you have to weight paint yourself, you can do this. But this should allow it. So as you can see, it's a lot, basically the outfit has a much better match to the model's body, basically. So if you really want to keep whatever's underneath your outfit, this is probably a much better solution. But keep in mind, even if you do that, you're probably still going to have to deal with very minuscule or very tiny weight paint issues. Even I also, even with my model, my outfit, I made my outfit, I weight paint transfer from my base body to my outfit, and even doing that I still get like clipping issues under my arms, basically. So the way I had to fix it was I have to set up I had to make like a modified base texture where there's like alpha transparent marking, so that way it hides the clipping issue, basically. Like my entire base body is still underneath, but I still have a texture that controls it if you ever want to do like some toggles, basically. Just wanted to give out another example, so yeah. But either way, that's pretty much how you do it. I'm going to go ahead, unhide the dress here. I'm going to reattach it, you know, the body and the skirt together. And then, of course, you can rename this to be shirt or whatever the heck. Like, just rename it on the hierarchy. And pretty much that is it in a nutshell. And also, by the way, one last thing too. Let's say you have a blend shape, right? And let's say there's a blend shape where you want it where the shirt is like very giant. Let's say you want something like this, like you're using blend shapes to do certain edits with your model. How do you apply those blend shapes? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and first of all move my big head, and then basically you basically select whichever blend shapes you want to apply, and when you're done, click here and then click on apply all shape keys. Keep in mind, if you're doing this for like a base model, like, you know, for your actual like character that has expressions and stuff, I don't recommend the method I showed you. There is a different method, but again, that's like a whole different thing. But for outfits, you can do that. Unless, like, there's a blend shape that you really want to toggle. Again, it can get complicated. You're going to have to do some external researching and experimenting in regards to that. But in this case, we don't have to use the blend shapes. But I just wanted to, like, quickly show that. But again, I don't ever use the blend shape. I just manually do the thing. And if somebody wants a toggle, then I just remake the toggle. I just do what I want, basically. So, yeah. But either way, that's pretty much in a nutshell how you can set up a shirt or jacket inside with Blender, or at least getting it to work on your Vroid model. Look at Tess-chan, look at Tess-chan. She looking very beautiful now. Wow, fashionable. But yeah, and I hope that this tutorial helps you out on setting up the shirt or jackets inside of Blender, or at least getting the booth outfits working on your models. And yeah, again, remember, please do some external researching, because again, there's so much with 3D that I can only explain so much at a time. But I do hope that this helps you out. Let me know if you have any other questions or if you have any tutorial requests. I'll leave my socials, of course, here. If you want to contact me. Again, I don't do private tutoring. You can ask me for questions, but I don't do private tutoring because, I do have a lot of things I do in the background and such, so please keep that in mind. But otherwise, though, that's all I have to say. And yeah, hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys next time. Hey, saying that, everyone. I hope to see you guys next time, okay? Bye bye!